I was 34 when my wife came home, glowing from a dinner date I didn't know about, with a man I'd never heard of. It was a Thursday. She walked through the door around 9:30, cheeks flushed, eyes bright in a way I hadn't seen in months. When I asked how her day went, she said it casually, like it was nothing. "Oh, I had dinner with Cole." I looked up from my laptop. "Cole?" "My ex-fiancé," she said, dropping her purse on the counter. "You know, Haley's father." We'd been married 3 years, and I had never once heard the name Cole. I set my laptop aside slowly. "Since when do you have dinner with your ex-fiancé?" Catherine shrugged, opening the fridge. "We've been doing it for a while. It's about Haley. We coordinate things." That's when the first alarm went off in my head. Haley was 10. She lived with Cole full-time, had since before Catherine and I even met. My wife saw her twice a month, some holidays. What exactly needed coordinating over candlelit tables? "How often is a while?" I asked. "Every couple weeks," she said. Then quickly added, "Sometimes more if we need to." Every couple weeks, for 3 years, and she'd never mentioned it once. "Why didn't you tell me about this before?" She looked at me like I was being unreasonable. I didn't think it was a big deal, but it was a big deal. It was her ex-fiancé, the man she'd almost married, the man she'd planned a life with before me, and she'd been meeting him regularly, in secret. "Catherine, don't you think this is something you should discuss with your husband?" Her face hardened. "You can't expect me to cancel dinners with my child's father. He's part of my life. I have a child with him." The way she said it, so matter-of-fact, so defensive, it felt like a door slamming in my face. I didn't push it that night. I just went quiet, and she went to bed like nothing had happened. But I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying her words, not just what she said, but how she said it, like I was the problem for even asking. Over the next few days, I started paying attention, really paying attention. The way she checked her phone constantly, how she angled the screen away from me, how she started dressing up more on certain nights. Heels, makeup, perfume. Tuesday evening, she announced another dinner. I asked if it was with Cole. She nodded. "We need to talk about Haley's school schedule next semester." She left at 6, came home just before midnight. 6 hours to discuss a school schedule. When she walked in, I was still awake, sitting in the dark. "How was it?" I asked. "Fine," she said, not meeting my eyes. "We covered everything." 6 hours? "We talked about other things too," she said quickly. "Cole's been having issues at work. I was just being supportive." Supportive? Of her ex-fiancé, the man she'd loved before me. I didn't say anything, but something inside me shifted. The following weekend, she told me she was staying at her friend Sadie's house for a girls' night. Movies, wine, the usual. It sounded normal, innocent. Sunday morning, I decided to surprise them with coffee from Catherine's favorite place. I drove to Sadie's apartment, the one Catherine had pointed out months ago, and knocked on the door, holding 2 cups. Sadie opened it, looking confused. "Hey," I said. "Brought coffee for you and Catherine. Thought you might need it after last night." Her face went blank. "What are you talking about?" My stomach dropped. "The girls' night. Catherine stayed here." "No," Sadie said slowly. "I haven't seen Catherine in weeks. She definitely wasn't here last night." I stood there, frozen, the coffee cups burning my hands. I thanked Sadie and left. My mind was racing. If Catherine wasn't at Sadie's, where had she spent the night? I already knew the answer. When I got home, Catherine was there, showered, relaxed, smiling. "How was girls' night?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "Great," she said without hesitation. "We stayed up way too late. I'm exhausted." She was lying straight to my face, completely, confidently. "What movies did you watch?" "Just some romantic comedies. You know Sadie." I nodded and walked into the kitchen. My hands were shaking. Later that afternoon, while Catherine was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the counter. I glanced at it automatically. The message was from Cole. "Thanks for last night. Haley loved having breakfast with both of us this morning." Both of us. Breakfast this morning. Catherine had spent the night at Cole's house, and their daughter had seen them together in the morning, like they were a family again. When she came downstairs, I was holding her phone. "You want to tell me about last night?" Her face drained of color. "What do you mean?" "Cole just texted. Something about breakfast with both of you and Haley." She snatched the phone from my hand. "It's not what you think." "Then explain it." "I did go to Sadie's," she stammered. I stopped by Cole's first to see Haley. And it got late, so I stayed in the guest room." "The guest room?" "Yes." "And you had breakfast together like a family?" "Haley wanted pancakes. I was just helping." Every word she said made it worse. Not because of what happened, but because of how easily she lied about it. "Catherine," I said quietly, "I called Sadie. She told me you weren't there." Her face flushed red. I knew you'd overreact if I told you I was staying at Cole's. So you lied." "I didn't want to deal with your jealousy." Jealousy. That's what she called it when her husband didn't want her spending the night at her ex-fiance's house. "This isn't about jealousy," I said. "It's about honesty. It's about respect." "Nothing happened," she said quickly. "I slept in the guest room. We just talked and watched a movie with Haley." "Until what time?" "I don't know. Late, maybe 1 or 2. And then you stayed over instead of coming home to your husband." It was late and I was tired. Haley wanted me to stay. I stared at her. She wasn't even hearing herself. How comfortable she was with all of it. How natural it felt to her. Spending the night at Cole's house, having breakfast like a family, lying to me about it. "Catherine," I said slowly, "do you hear yourself right now?" She didn't answer. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Cole. She grabbed it before I could see, but I caught the beginning. "Can't wait for next." "What did that say?" I asked. "Nothing important." "Show me." "No. This is my private conversation with my daughter's father." Private. My wife's conversations with her ex-fiancé were private from her husband. That's when I understood. This wasn't about co-parenting. This wasn't about Haley. This was about Catherine and Cole. And I was just the obstacle in the way. Monday morning, I made a phone call that changed everything. "Robert," I said to my supervisor, "that transfer to Portland you mentioned last month, is it still available?" There was a pause. "Yeah, it's still open. I thought you weren't interested." "I've reconsidered. What's the timeline?" "They need someone within 2 weeks. It's a promotion too. 15% raise." "I'll take it." "What about Catherine?" "Catherine won't be coming with me." I hung up and sat in my car for a few minutes, watching her through the kitchen window. She was texting someone, smiling at her phone. I didn't need to guess who. Over the next few days, I began quietly dismantling our life together. Catherine was so distracted by her renewed connection with Cole that she didn't notice. I started with things she wouldn't miss. Documents, clothes from the back of the closet, my golf clubs. I rented a storage unit across town and made trips during lunch breaks. Wednesday night, she announced another dinner with Cole. I just nodded. Have fun. She looked surprised by my calm response, but didn't question it. While she was gone, I packed 2 more boxes. Thursday, I received the official job offer. I accepted immediately. Friday, she mentioned she might be late again. Cole's having some family issues. I might stop by. Take your time, I said. And I meant it. The longer she spent with him, the easier this became. She came home after midnight. I pretended to be asleep. By Sunday, I'd found an apartment in Portland and put down a deposit. Monday brought another dinner announcement. Let me guess, I said. Cole needs support. Her face hardened. Why are you being sarcastic? I'm not. I'm just acknowledging the pattern. What pattern? The pattern where you prioritize Cole over our marriage. That's not fair. He's going through a tough time. And you're his emotional support system. I'm Haley's mother. Of course I care. I nodded. You're right. You should definitely go. She looked confused by my agreement, but she went. While she was gone, I packed my computer equipment and the last of my important belongings. Tuesday, Robert called confirming my start date. All set, I told him. I'll be there Monday. Wednesday evening, as Catherine got ready for yet another outing, she paused. Where's your golf bag? Lent it to a friend, I said. She shrugged and kept getting ready. After she left, I went to the bank, opened a new account, transferred half our joint savings, my money earned from my job, updated my address with credit card companies, started forwarding my mail to the storage unit. By Thursday, I'd quietly erased myself from our shared life. And Catherine still hadn't noticed. Friday night, she came home particularly happy, radiant even. Good time, I asked. We went to that Italian place where Cole proposed to me years ago, she said. Then caught herself. I mean, where we used to go when Haley was little. The place where he proposed. For school planning. Sounds nostalgic, I said. It was just convenient. Saturday, I took the day off work. By evening, I'd finished the last of my preparations. When Catherine came home, she walked into a house that looked almost the same, but felt completely different. She just didn't know it yet. Friday night? She floated through the door after another dinner with Cole, humming to herself. Then she stopped. Where's the bookshelf? I didn't look up from my laptop. I moved it. Where? Storage. She walked into the kitchen, opened cabinets. Half the dishes are missing. Packed the ones we don't use. She came back, scanning the room. My diplomas were gone. My leather chair, the side table with my magazines. What's going on? She asked. I closed my laptop. How was dinner? It was fine. What's going on with all your stuff? You told me last night you went to the Italian place where Cole proposed. Then you corrected yourself. Her face went pale. I never said that. You did? I paid attention. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshot I'd taken of Cole's text from last Sunday. This says you had breakfast together. You told me you stayed at Sadie's. Sadie says you weren't there. So where did you spend Saturday night? She stared at the phone. I told you. You slept in Cole's guest room and had breakfast like a family and went to your romantic dinner spot. Catherine, do you think I'm stupid? Nothing is happening. You're having regular dinners with your ex-fiancé. You're spending nights at his house. You're going to places that meant something to both of you. You're lying to me about all of it, and you think nothing is happening. You're being paranoid. Am I? I stood up. Then why do you need to lie? Because you overreact? I overreact to my wife sleeping at her ex-fiancé's house? Nothing happened. That's not the point, I said. The point is, you chose to spend the night with him instead of coming home to me. The point is, you lied. The point is, you're prioritizing your relationship with Cole over your marriage to me. Catherine's voice rose. Cole is Haley's father. He'll always be part of my life. And apparently, I won't be. She stopped. What does that mean? It means you've made your choice. You want Cole in your life? You want to have dinners and sleepovers and romantic dinner spots? You can. You can do all of that. You're being ridiculous. You're right. I have been ridiculous. Ridiculous for tolerating this. Ridiculous for accepting your lies. Ridiculous for pretending this is normal. Her face shifted from defensive to worried. What are you saying? I'm saying you don't need to cancel your dinners with Cole anymore. You don't need to lie about where you're staying. You don't need to make excuses. Why not? Because I won't be here to care. The words hung between us. You won't be here. No. What do you mean? I gestured around the room. I mean, I won't be here. I'm moving out. Moving out where? Portland. I accepted a job transfer this week. Her face went through shock, confusion, anger, panic. You can't just move to Portland. I can, and I am. When? Monday. This Monday, as in 4 days? That's how calendars work. She sat down hard. You're serious? Completely. But what about us? What about us, Catherine? You've spent the last month rebuilding your relationship with Cole. You've lied to me repeatedly. You've prioritized him consistently. What exactly is left of us? I never said I wanted to end our marriage. You didn't have to say it. You showed it. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, we can work this out. I can stop seeing Cole so much. Can you? Because you told me last week that I can't expect you to cancel dinners with him. You said he's part of your life, and you have a child with him. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? She had no answer. Catherine, I said quietly, you never got over Cole. You married me because it was convenient and safe, but your heart never left him. And now that you have an excuse to be around him again, you're taking it. That's not true. Then why are you fighting so hard to keep seeing him? Silence. I'm not going to compete with your ex-fiancé for my own wife's attention, I said. I'm not going to sit here and watch you rebuild your previous relationship while pretending to be married to me. And I'm not going to accept being lied to in my own home. She started crying. Please don't do this. I'm not doing anything. You did this. You made these choices. You prioritized these relationships. You told these lies. I'm just responding to what you've already decided. I'll change. You shouldn't have to change. If you were happy in this marriage, if you wanted to be married to me, you wouldn't be spending your nights with Cole and your days lying about it. She cried harder, but I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness. Just a clear, calm certainty. You'll have exactly what you want, I said. You can see Cole whenever you want. Stay over whenever you want. Go to all your old places. You just can't do it while being married to me. I don't want Cole. I want you. No, Catherine. You want both. And that's not how marriage works. Saturday morning, I woke early and finished packing while Catherine slept. By noon, I'd loaded my car with the last of my belongings. She sat at the kitchen table, watching me carry box after box. "This is insane," she said. "You're throwing away 3 years of marriage." "I'm not throwing anything away. You already did that." One mistake doesn't mean we should get divorced. I stopped and looked at her. One mistake? This wasn't one mistake. This was weeks of lies, multiple nights with your ex, and complete disregard for our marriage. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. She cried again. I kept loading the car. Sunday, I drove to Portland. My new apartment was modern, clean, quiet. And mine. I had a view of the city skyline. I slept better that night than I had in months. Monday, I started my new job. The work was challenging. The team was welcoming. I felt more energized than I had in years. It was amazing how light life felt when you weren't constantly wondering what your spouse was lying about. At lunch, I updated my relationship status on social media. Changed it from married to single. Simple, clean, final. My phone started buzzing immediately. Friends asking what happened. Family members worried. I responded to a few with brief explanations and ignored the rest. Tuesday evening, my phone rang. Catherine's name. I let it ring. She called again and again. On the 4th call, I answered. "Why aren't you home?" she demanded, her voice shaky. I almost laughed. "Home?" "Yes, home. Where are you?" "I'm at home, my home." "No, you're not. I'm here and you're not here." "Catherine, I am at home." "Your home is here with me." I walked to my window, took a photo of the Portland skyline, then another of my apartment keys on the counter. "Check your messages." I heard her phone ding. Long silence. "Where is this?" she whispered. "Portland." "You actually left." "I told you I was leaving. You didn't believe me. But I thought you were trying to scare me." "Why would I try to scare you? What would be the point?" "To make me stop seeing Cole." "Catherine, I don't care if you see Cole. See him every day. Stay at his house every night. Marry him again for all I care." "I don't want to marry Cole." "Then don't. But also, don't call me asking why I'm not home when you've made it very clear I'm not welcome there. You are welcome here. This is your home." "No, it's not. Home is where your spouse tells you the truth. Home is where your spouse prioritizes your marriage. Home is where your spouse doesn't sneak around with their ex-fiancé." She was crying again. "Please come back. I ended things with Cole. I told him we can't have dinners anymore." "When?" "Today, this afternoon, when I realized you were actually gone." "So you only ended it when you realized there were consequences." "I ended it because I realized I was wrong." "You ended it because you got caught. If I hadn't discovered your lies, if I hadn't confronted you, if I hadn't moved out, would you have stopped seeing Cole?" No answer. "Would you have told me the truth about where you spent that night?" Still nothing. "Would you have stopped having your romantic dinners?" They weren't romantic. "You went to the place where he proposed to you." That was just coincidence. I laughed, actually laughed. "Right. Please come home. We can work this out." "There's nothing to work out. You want Cole in your life? He's all yours. You want family breakfasts and romantic spots? Go for it. You just can't do it while being married to me." "I don't want Cole. I want you." "No, you don't. You want me to be okay with Cole. You want me to accept your lies. You want me to share you with your ex-fiancé, and I won't do that. Other couples work through these things. Other couples are honest with each other from the beginning. Other couples don't lie about spending nights with their exes. Her voice became desperate. I'll do anything. I'll never see Cole again. I'll change my number. I'll move to Portland with you. You'll never see the father of your daughter again. I'll only see him for Haley. Like you were only seeing him for Haley before. That was different. How? Because now I know I could lose you. You already lost me, Catherine. You lost me the night you chose to sleep at Cole's house instead of coming home to your husband. You lost me when you lied about it. You lost me when you prioritized your relationship with him over your marriage to me. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. This was a series of deliberate choices. You chose to have dinner with him. You chose to stay at his house. You chose to lie to me. You chose to keep doing it. Those weren't mistakes. They were decisions. My apartment felt peaceful compared to the chaos in her voice. I'm happy here, Catherine. Happier than I've been in months. I have a great job, a nice place, and most importantly, I don't have to wonder what my spouse is lying about today. You can't just throw away 3 years. I didn't throw away anything. I saved what was left of my self-respect. I love you. No, you don't. You love the security I provided while you figured out your feelings for Cole. But you don't love me enough to be honest with me. And you don't love me enough to put our marriage first. That's not true. Then why did it take me leaving for you to end things with Cole? Again, no answer. Goodbye, Catherine. Enjoy your dinners. I hung up and turned off my phone. Outside my window, Portland stretched under the evening sky. Tomorrow, I had a new project at work. Next weekend, I'd explore the city. For the first time in months, I was looking forward instead of constantly looking over my shoulder. Catherine could have all the dinners she wanted now. 3 weeks later, security called from the lobby of my office building. There's a Catherine here to see you. Says she's your wife. Send her up. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back messily. Sweatpants. Like she'd driven straight here without thinking. We need to talk, she said when she reached my desk. No, we don't. I made a huge mistake. Cole and it's over. It was never genuine. I was just confused and nostalgic and stupid. Okay. Okay, that's it? What do you want me to say, Catherine? I want you to come home. I want us to fix this. I leaned back in my chair. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice. I chose wrong. You chose honestly. For the first time in our marriage, you did what you actually wanted to do. What I wanted was you. No. What you wanted was both of us. And when you couldn't have both, you chose him. The only reason you want me back now is because whatever fantasy you had with Cole didn't work out. She started crying. That's not true. Isn't it? Tell me, what happened with Cole? Why is it suddenly over? She wiped her eyes. He said he wasn't ready for a serious relationship again. He liked the dinners and the time together, but he didn't want to commit. I nodded. So he got what he wanted from you, and then he bailed. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. He enjoyed having his ex-fiancée back in his life, giving him attention, staying over, but he didn't want the responsibility of an actual relationship. She sobbed harder. I ruined everything. Yes, you did. Can't you forgive me? I stood and walked to the window. Catherine, I don't need to forgive you. I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful. Grateful You showed me who you are. You showed me what our marriage actually meant to you. You saved me from wasting more years wondering why my wife was always distant, always distracted, always somewhere else, emotionally. I wasn't always like that. Yes, you were. I just didn't want to see it. She walked over to me. Please, I'll sign a prenup. I'll go to counseling. I'll do whatever you want. I don't want anything from you. I want exactly what I have right now. A life where I don't have to compete with your ex for your attention. A life where I don't have to wonder if you're lying to me. A life where I matter to the person I'm with. You matter to me. No, I don't. I'm convenient. I'm safe. I'm the backup plan when your exciting option doesn't work out. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Catherine. But it can be honest. And honestly, I'm happier without you. She stared at me, shocked. I have work to do, I said. Security will escort you out. You can't just give up on us. I'm not giving up. I'm moving on. There's a difference. Catherine left my office crying. I watched from my window as she got into her car and drove away. My phone buzzed. A text from my new colleague, Norma. Coffee after work? There's a great place downtown I want to show you. I smiled and texted back. Sounds perfect. Some stories don't have happy endings. Some have honest ones. Catherine wanted Cole to be part of her life, and now he was. Just not in the way she'd imagined. I wanted a partner who chose me first, and eventually I'd find one. The difference was I was willing to wait for the right person instead of settling for someone who saw me as an option. Because peace isn't revenge. It's walking away so quietly that they hear your absence louder than your anger. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.